Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am happy you're here. Thank you for tuning in on this next video. This one, we're gonna talk about managing a creative business and the chaos that can happen and how you can simplify the entire thing. In a freelance business or in an agency, there are so many moving parts. You've got proposals, contracts, deadlines, invoices, countless emails and meetings and notes, not to mention all the production tasks. There is so much stuff, so many moving parts. And if you don't get a handle on that chaos, it can be overwhelming and stressful to run a creative business. In this video, I'm gonna show you a few ways that you can simplify the entire chaotic process. Hey, and if you're a creative freelancer, creative agency owner, hit the subscribe button. This channel is dedicated to making your business better. Let's look at everything that goes into managing a creative project, from finding the potential client all the way through production. I'm gonna go through this pretty fast, but this is just to highlight to you all of the chaos that happens and why you might feel stressed. We have to find potential clients before we do anything, and finding clients requires marketing strategy, requires marketing materials. We've got to have a way to capture leads. And then once we have some leads, we have to nurture those relationships. I love the idea of 7 touch points. We have to have 7 positive interactions with somebody to convert them into a potential buyer. It's all about building trust. And then we have to convert these people that have this trust in us into legitimate opportunities. We have to identify problems that they have in their business, position ourselves as a solution, and that takes more touch points. And then we've got to close these opportunities. Once we convert this client, we need a discovery meeting, we need a solution, we need to create some pricing and a proposal and a contract. We need to get that contract signed. And then finally, we can start production, where we send an invoice and we have an establishment of what are all the milestones for the project. And we're gonna have a kickoff meeting. We're gonna do some research on their industry, competitors, their target audience. We're gonna do personas in some cases and mood boards, and then concept designs. And then finally, we're gonna start doing design work in the production phase. And we look at that, we're gonna have design round 1 plus feedback from the client, design round 2 and feedback, design round 3 and feedback or approval from the client. And then we might send another invoice. And then we're gonna close production, where we have quality assurance testing, final approvals from the client, delivery or launch of the product. We're gonna send another invoice. And we're gonna do a post-mortem with the client. There's so much that goes into this creative project. And then when we're done with all this, we're just gonna go and repeat the entire cycle for every single client, every single project. And if you don't have a way that you're managing this from a global view standpoint, it can get so chaotic and stressful. I felt it. I felt it for years at my agency, because inside of all of these bullet points or these actions that are in this spread, we've got things buried in there too, like a contract. We need a template and describe our phases and invoicing schedule and production schedule, detailed scope and terms of agreement, and we got to get a signature from the client. We have all these subset tasks as well. There's just so much. My agency, I created SOPs for all of our types of projects that we did, and we had phases and rounds and tasks for everything, and it can get crazy fast. Now, at the start of my agency, I was trying to figure out a way to manage this, and my brain works in compartments. And the first way that I did this is back in 2002. I created something that I called the furnace. It was the thing that was churning our business. And it was just a dry erase board, and it had columns for each of the different steps in a project. So if we had a website project, you put the project in the left column, and then the goal was to move that project through production, through these different cycles. Okay, we need to do our research. We need to get it approved by the client. We need to do concept design. We need to get it approved by the client. We're just doing that step by step. Now, the problem with the furnace, it was too analog. It wouldn't scale. It became quickly too manual for us to be able to manage it. So what we started to do was make a digital version of the furnace. This was about 2004, 2005. I had some developers on staff, and we were coding our own project management system. Now, around that same time, Basecamp came out, and it was kind of the earliest adopted in the creative agency, this early adoption project management tool. And we switched over, we left the Furnace, our own version, which was working, and it was working pretty good, but we went over to Basecamp and used that for a bunch of years. But then we found that we were managing our projects in Basecamp, then we switched to Teamwork, and then we were invoicing through QuickBooks, and then we were doing our contact management through Pipedrive, and we had a ton of different spreadsheets. We had so many tools that were managing all these different parts of our business, and then that got chaotic. That got messy. And plus, we're paying subscription fees for every single one of these tools. But our mission was that we could keep track of all the details of the project, and we could shepherd that project through our business in a nice, smooth, non-chaotic way. Clear milestones, archived communication, clear touch points with the client. In today's video, I want to walk you through Bloom. Bloom is an application that is designed to fix this chaotic mess that I had at my agency and you might feel at your creative business. Among other things that Bloom does, what I'm gonna focus on in this video is how Bloom can take this mess that you see right here and help you compartmentalize this into contacts, leads, and projects. And I'm gonna focus on showing you the inner workings of Bloom and how it can help us simplify and control these three different aspects of managing our creative business. I think you're really gonna like it. I wish I would have had it when I was running my agency, especially in those early years when I had 15, 20 projects and I could manage the touch points and all of the little tasks, but I needed somewhere to see it all globally, and Bloom is so good for that. Plus you can do your invoicing and manage your payments, collect payments inside of it, and manage your contact list like a CRM. Okay, let's check it out. I think you're gonna like it. Now, when you first log in, you're gonna see a dashboard. Inside the dashboard, you can see your total number of leads, your total bookings, your total earnings. And you have some abilities to chart and graph those things to see kind of a snapshot view of what your business is doing. What we're going to focus on in this video is this section for contacts, leads, and projects, and how Bloom can help you manage those three things that I talked about in the introduction to the video. Let's start with the contacts section. The rule I would make would be to every time I meet somebody new, I put them in the contact section and then I start nurturing those relationships. Let me show you how that's done here. We have on top here, all fictional people, Andrew Payne. And Andrew Payne, I'm going to click into his profile and I can see the information that I have about Andrew Payne. And I put on here just some notes to start. We met at a Chamber of Commerce luncheon event on March 23rd, 2022. I remember that his wife's name is Sally and he's really into rock climbing. I just made a couple of little notes for him. We can see any associated projects that are related to him, which I'll show you. We'll do that in a minute when we make a project for him. We can attach any assets that relate to him, maybe his logo or a sales deck or something that we have from him that just reminds us of what his business is all about. And we can tag him with a variety of different tags. Like let's say he is a real estate business. And I'm gonna make a tag for that. And now you can see that I tagged him for design, commercial, and real estate. We have his contact information right here. Now this helps us just keep a global view of all of our contacts. Who are these people? Who are the people that we are trying to nurture and convert into buyers at some point in the future? We need to nurture these relationships. Now, when we have Andrew Payne here and we went to lunch with him, let's say, and we talked to him about a project, and Andrew said, hey, I got this project coming up that I think you'd be interested in. All of a sudden, that contact becomes a lead for a new project opportunity. And on Andrew's entry right here, we can go to this 3 dots and I can click Convert to Lead. So I'm going to do that. I click Convert to Lead, and the lead is going to be Andrew needs a new logo design for a new product. That's what he needs. And I'm going to go over here and create or select the specialty of identity design. These are specialties that you can add from your own business. And I added identity design here. And this is either an active lead, a disqualified lead, a lost lead, paused, or won. Now we're just gonna make this an active lead. Andrew just told us about it. Andrew's right here in the contact. We can add more contacts to it. We could add a date or location if it was an event-related lead, and we can tag it with whatever tags we wanna tag it with. Now we create that as a lead, and this new project now shows up in the next section that we're gonna cover inside of Bloom, which is the leads section. So I clicked on the leads section here, and the very first entry is this logo design for a new product that is attached to Andrew Payne. And you can see down here all of the leads that I'm working in my fictional creative business right here. So these are all the leads that I need to nurture from potential opportunity to closing that opportunity. And I love that I can just see it all here in one shot. I can look down and say, oh man, this website for Family Clinic, Michael Owens, sheesh, I haven't reached out to him for a while. I better go and reach out to him. I'll click in the lead, and then I can see the history of my interactions with him. So I followed up on April 13th. I better put a new task. Remind me to follow up on Monday. And I'm gonna go and put that on Monday, April 17th. It's a general task, and I'll put it here as started, and I click add. Now I know that I have this little tag here that's gonna help me remember to follow up with him on Monday. You can go in and add tons of new tasks to help you nurture this client from potential opportunity to closing the deal. So we also can go into this leads section right here, and we can win and lose projects. So let's say that we were working this brochure design for Sherry Carter. I'm gonna go into this, and it's not active anymore. It was lost. We presented a bid and we lost that project. Bummer, we lost that one. Here's another one that we can go, and let's say that this one, we disqualified that client. We had the meeting with them, and you know what? They didn't have enough budget to work with us, so we disqualified them. Now I go in to see the status of my leads that I've been working, and I can just track these interactions and track whether I'm winning, losing, disqualifying these different contacts or these different opportunities. So let's go back to this project, this logo design for a new product for Andrew Payne. Now, let's say that we worked with Andrew and we put in a new task. We said proposal, we need to present the proposal. And here we're gonna do it just as a general task, and on the 18th, and we'll put it as started, and I click add. Okay, so now let's say that we're working this lead of this logo design for a new product, and we win the project. We win this project. We present our proposal, we create a contract, we close that contract with the client. Now we want to go and convert it to a project, the next section that I'm going to walk you through. And the way to do that is to just hit the three dots on the side and click convert to project. And now you're going to see, it gives me a couple prompts to say, okay, what is this new project that we have? Okay, well, this is logo design for, let's call it Acme Baseball. That's the new product that Andrew is launching. We're going to do it under identity design, and then we're going to put it in a workflow. Now, a workflow is the phases or steps that we have that we do every time in a project. I'm going to show you these three different workflows that I created inside of Bloom. One for print design, one for web design, and one for identity design. Let's say that those are the three things that you're offering in your business. So we're going to put it in the identity design workflow, and we attached it as a specialty of identity design. We have contact here. It auto-fills that Andrew Payne was the contact, and we can go in and say, you know what, this is a partnership with Ronald Lacey and Andrew Payne, so we'll attach Ronald as one of the contacts as well. And then we can go in and add invoices. Now, based on the invoicing schedule, and I'll show you that here in a second on the project section. So for now, we're going to say I'm done, and it is going to convert that lead into a project. And when I go to the project section, I will be able to see, scrolling down right here, here's that project, logo design for Acme Baseball. And it's put into the identity design workflow that I created inside of Bloom. Now, let me walk you through this project section a little bit so you can see how this works. We have different disciplines that you offer in your business, different services. So in my business here, we're going to say that it's print design, web design, and identity design. And each of these different types of projects have their own steps that we go through to close them. And if you remember on my intro, we had all of the different buckets that happen for a project. I categorize these into the start of the project, the production of the project, and the closing of the project, or the completion of the project. So in the start, we're going to have a kickoff meeting, and we're going to do some research. In production, we're going to do design round 1, 2, and 3. And in close, we're going to do press ready, file creation, press checks, and delivery. By the way, I'm zoomed in on this so that you can see it in the video, but if I zoom out, the aesthetics are better. You can read it all. I just zoomed in so you could see it better in this video. So ignore the cutoff text in there. I just want to make sure that you can see it if you're looking at this on your phone, like people like me, old man glasses. Okay, so we're going to go down here. We have these 3 projects that are all in print design, and here's the different categories for them. The kickoff meeting, oh, it looks like we started the kickoff meeting for this marketing campaign. Looks like we already did the kickoff meeting for print brochure design, and we're starting the research section. And here, this restaurant menu design, we're all the way to done with design round 3, and we can start the press ready files. And what I love about this is that it gives you this global snapshot of everything that's happening in the projects of your business. This is like my little analog system that I created 20 years ago called the furnace, where I was just moving these things manually from one column to the next. Bloom does it for you digitally and does it for you in a nice, visually, aesthetically pleasing interface. You can also go into these projects and you can see the total value of the project. So we're going to go back to this logo design for Acme Baseball, the one we just created for Andrew Payne. And we're going to go in and add some invoices. Let's say that in our contract, we had 3 different invoices. Invoice number 1, we're going to send on the 17th. And we're going to add items to that invoice. Once you create items, they'll be here for you to use over and over again. So I'm just going to click this phase 1 that I created, and I'm going to create this invoice and click create. And then do I want to send it to the client? Nope, I'm not ready to send it. I'm just scheduling my invoices. So I'm going to close that one. Then I'm going to add another invoice, and this other invoice, I'm going to say based on the production schedule, I'm going to send this on the 26th of April. I'm going to go here and add that as phase 2. And then I'm going to create this invoice, and I'm not going to send it. I'm just going to close that. And then I'm going to add the 3rd invoice that we would send at the end of the project on the 9th. And here we're going to add that as the phase 3 of the project. Click create and close. Okay, now when I jump back into the project's dashboard, I can see that the logo design value is $6,500. I can put on here that it is the kickoff meeting is started, or we're going to do it. Actually, let's say that that is done, and now we're starting the research phase. Now, I can go back into the project, and I can go and send this invoice for the project right now, and collect the money right through Bloom. You can set up your banking and system to connect and receive transactions from Bloom by sending the invoice from here, which I love that capability. In the early days of my agency, we were emailing invoices, and then we were receiving checks in the mail. That was the old school way. Now we can collect payments online, send invoices from the same tool that we're using as the global snapshot view of our entire business. So super, super effective and valuable. And we can go into this, and let's say that Andrew just came over to my office and he gave me money for this. I can click into the invoice and record a payment. I don't have to collect it through Bloom. I can collect it through cash. He came over and brought with him $1,500 worth of cash and paid it on the 14th. And I'm gonna click add that. And now you can see that we've received $1,500. Of the total left is $5,000. They've paid 23% of the project. And we have these two invoices coming up that I scheduled for the 26th and for May 9th. So I love that you can see this. I was doing this in spreadsheets, tracking and projecting my future revenue based on when we were going to send invoices and doing it in a spreadsheet. And I love that Bloom lets you just schedule those things and see them in this kind of snapshot view right here. Now you can see also inside of this project, we can add events, we can add project notes, like waiting for funding. Will resume on May 10th or something, you know, some kind of a note that reminds us of what is happening with this project. We can add our contract. So we can go and upload our contract into Bloom and receive a signature through the Bloom tool. Also super effective. So the idea of sending PDFs, which I did for years and years, and then getting an e-signature back, we can do that right through Bloom and show the history of these signed documents. We can add image gallery, shared files, and forms also. So these are just a few of the ways that you can use Bloom to manage your creative business. It lets you handle the invoicing and payments, lead management, signing contracts. It's a CRM for your contact list. You can publish a website portfolio and a little website of your business through it. It has the ability to do instant booking, so you can schedule your time that you're available and people can book you for events or for half-day photo shoot or all-day strategy session or whatever you want to sell through this instant booking tool. It can link to your existing calendar so that you're not tracking availability in multiple different places. And like I showed you, project management. The project management and seeing this global view of your projects, it's so powerful. So you can take it from meeting somebody and creating a contact out of them, tracking your relationship with them, nurturing them into becoming a lead, and then closing that lead, turning it into a project, and then shepherding that project throughout the entire production flow, including managing your invoices and receiving your payments. So powerful, all under one roof. Got to check out Bloom. You can learn more about Bloom down in the description. There's some links and there's some promo codes for you to check it out and see if it's a good fit for your business. Okay, thanks a lot. We'll see you again in the next video coming soon.